Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Time for music, movie, TV time, because we have something in every category. Every category, we got something there. And I got Shrek 5 to talk about, but there's no way I cannot do this break. Listen.
Listen. We got to dive into that in a minute.
Walter Cronkite over
Yeah,
here.
listen.
We got Shrek 5 to talk about.
Very
Absolutely.
important. Very important. But if you didn't see the Gladiator 2 trailer yesterday that dropped, that movie comes out in November. It looks freaking credible. And I don't want to wait that long for the movie, but that's November 22nd. That will be out. And it's got that Pedro Pascal.
Oh, I love him. Who is he playing?
One of the gladiators.
Well,
I thought there was just one gladiator. I have to be honest, I thought it was like the gladiator.
I don't know.
there's a lot in the movie.
There's a bunch of them.
Case hasn't seen Gladiator.
Denzel's going to be in it?
Denzel's in it, Denzel Washington, and Connie Nielsen, who was married to Lars Ulrich of Metallica, by the way.
Oh, really?
She was in the first movie, and she's going to be in this one as well. The movie's, 20 years old, I think, Gladiator, maybe more. Gladiator, the first one with Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe, not in it.
Not in it.
And
Spoiler alert.
I don't want to, Case hasn't seen it, and Gladiator's probably got to be on his list of movies he has to see, but not in it. But Ridley Scott's still doing the movie like he did the first one. It was in 2000. That movie's 24 years old, the first Gladiator.
Wow.
But I cannot wait for Gladiator 2. Now,
I love this cast. I'm very excited.
yeah, I was kind of stunned Denzel got in there too, because that's great. And
Why? Denzel could be whatever he wants to be in. He probably called, and they're like, okay, we'll write you in.
well, I don't want to
He's
make
going to be in it as Denzel.
I don't want to make a movie reference that Case won't understand, but I just picture him coming in like Alonzo in Training Day and just shooting everybody that's a gladiator.
Hey, man, that's not what he's going to do. It doesn't matter. That's going to sell out.
I mean, this happened thousands of years ago where there was no guns, but I just think, Alonzo
He
comes
invented
in.
the gun. That's the point of the movie, actually. It's the first gun at a sword fight.
Oh, God.
Guess who wins?
Now, let's put Gladiator aside for a minute. 'Cause
Okay.
We got to wait even further for Shrek 5, now confirmed for July 2026, with Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, and Cameron Diaz all returning.
Oh, yes. I always forget Cameron Diaz is the voice of Fiona.
Glad
Yeah.
you said that, because I also completely forgot that until just now.
Is that crazy?
Well, I'm just more the point where I forgot if I've even seen Shrek 2, 3, or 4. I know I've seen 1 and I love it. Several times I've seen Shrek, but I can't even remember if I've seen 2, 3, or 4.
Honestly, the storylines all kind of merge together for me. I've seen also a lot of the Puss in Boots spin-offs.
Really?
Yes.
How many
I
of
love
those?
Puss in Boots. I was actually Puss in Boots for Halloween one year. I love him. He's my favorite character. And he has there's a ton of Puss in Boots stuff because he also has like a TV show. And there's one line, and it gets said in my house a lot because he gets like a new outfit and he goes, "I'm Puss in new boots." And it's our absolute favorite line in the Roman household. So I really was Puss in Boots for Halloween. I love Puss in Boots.
How many of those are there?
I don't know because it all goes together to like be Puss in Boots.
Brian, you gotta see
movie.
Shrek 2 and 3 at the very least.
Well, here's the thing I'm trying to look while you're looking at Puss in Boots. So Shrek went 2001, 2 was 2004, Shrek the Third was 2007, Shrek Forever After was 2010. Now they're waiting 16 years for Shrek 5 as they had a nice runoff there
They
every
better
3
be
years.
grandparents in this one because they
Yeah.
have kids in one of them.
They might be, yeah.
So Puss in Boots, 2011, the original movie. Then Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was 2022, and then there's a Puss in Boots show,
Like a TV show?
Yeah.
Oh, so there's only 2 movies and a show.
And then there's Puss in Boots: The Three Diablos, which is like his kids, I think. Which I don't know if you know Puss in Boots, but I'm sure he got more than 3 kittens running around. Okay, he's been in these streets.
I did not see the first movie of Puss in Boots. So I
I
don't
love
know.
Puss in Boots.
All right, so we got Gladiator November, and then 2026, though. 2026 is shaping up to be pretty awesome with Shrek 5. But what else is on that list, Case?
2026 is Shrek 5. It's Toy Story 5.
Wow.
It's The Batman Part 2.
Wait. Which is that Ben Affleck Batman? Which Batman is that,
It's
I wonder?
The Batman. I don't know which Batman that is. I've never seen a Batman movie.
I don't remember Ben Affleck being Batman.
It's Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is Ben Affleck
yeah.
been Batman?
Yeah.
He has. I knew that, but
Oh, we're
this
going
is
back to Robert?
This is Robert Pattinson. This is The Batman Part 2. There's Fast X Part 2. That's due out in 2026.
Wait.
What's Fast X?
Another Fast and Furious?
Yes.
There's a part 2 of 10?
Yes, I don't know why it's not part 11. It's just part 10, part 2.
I thought it was a different kind of movie, Fast X. It sounds like that party movie that came out, Project X.
Project X.
Project
I was like,
X.
what's Fast X?
It's a faster party.
Yeah.
Project X is an unbelievably good movie.
That's what I thought my life would be like as a teenager.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
So, wow.
Wasn't.
I thought 10 was ending. Listen, I'm a Fast and Furious aficionado, best franchise of all time.
Okay.
But X2, X Part 2.
Yeah, so Fast X Part 2, Avengers, The Kang Dynasty, there's a live-action Moana. All these movies, buckle up for 2 years from now. 2026 is going to be loaded in theaters.
It's going to be lit.
I got beef with the whole Moana already getting a live action BT dubs, but that's fine.
Wait, what is that now? Explain that.
Because like all of us oldies had to wait a very long time for the live action version. And now these new princesses is like, here's your movie. And then like a year later, here's the live action. You should have to wait 27 years like the rest of us to see an actress do that.
I don't know who you can talk to about this.
I'm annoyed. There's still some OG princesses who deserve movies. Whatever.
I think you're just going to have to sit with this one. I'm sorry. I can't fix this
I
for
love
you.
Moana. I'm not saying she shouldn't have a live action, but boy, did they just jump right to that. Shouldn't there be a Moana 2 first?
I don't know.
Come on.
I'm not in the passion of it like you are, so I can't really judge how fast it
Where's
should.
Pocahontas?
Now, there is someone thirsty out there. I'm assuming it's a lovely female from 630 saying season 4 of Bridgerton is also in 2026.
Oh, boy. Oh, all this smut out there on Netflix.
It's not bad. They're married. They're allowed to bang.
All I know is I go to bed because I go to bed early for the show, and then Megan watches Bridgerton.
I bet she does. And it's like, you want to talk about, like, you don't want Megan involved in, like, your rubber grill antics? She doesn't need you up in her Bridgerton action, okay?
Yeah, but then she tries
I
to.
hate when my husband walks in the room trying to focus.
Yeah, but then she comes in the bed and is like, tries to push me. Hey, wake up. Wake
Is
up.
that bad for you?
It seems like it would be a good thing.
It
a
would,
whore.
but it's like midnight now. I got to get up in a couple hours.
You got your sleep cap on?
Yeah.
Guess who doesn't have that dog? You know, Brian Douglas.
I've got my striped pajamas with the barn door in the back and my sleep cap on.
Scrooge, Ebenezer.
Your candle's been burned at both ends.
Oh, God. She's like, hey, wake up. I just saw Bridgerton. Wake up. Let's go.
Listen, lady, I already gave you one kid. Leave me alone. You're not getting another.
Oh,
This
man.
sleep cap stays on, baby.
All right, so we did some movie news there. How about some music news? This is kind of sad. So Pearl Jam had to cancel some shows overseas. Now, we have Pearl Jam coming up in a month and a half, coming up at Wrigley Field at the end of August. I will be going to that show. It's on Megan's birthday. Big Pearl Jam
Ooh,
fans.
that's cool.
She's
Yeah.
going to fire up Bridgerton after that.
Oh,
It's going to be a big night.
we're not going to need an aphrodisiac that night, okay?
I mean, obviously, you're going to need some caffeine, though. Good Lord.
I'll need some caffeine, but Better Man will do it. Better Man. I played,
Better Man's the song that's going to get you going?
that's,
Boy, it needs to be better. It's all in the title.
that's a panty dropper. All right, so Eddie Vedder, though, said, they canceled these shows, and they kind of made it very mysterious, saying just Pearl Jam is unable to play. They didn't say anything was going on about it. Turns out Eddie Vedder had an illness that he thought he was going to die.
Really?
He said he had something like chest bronchitis where he couldn't breathe, had to go to the hospital. They're still not saying exactly what the problem was. What would they end up finding out? Maybe he had pneumonia. I don't know. But he said he's doing better, and they are going to start playing the shows again. But it was very scary, he said, for a minute there. It was very uncomfortable, got frightening, and I couldn't breathe. So we're wishing Eddie Vedder the best because he'll be coming around here in a month and a half, and can't wait for those shows when he comes home to Chicago to play Wrigley Field. They haven't done that in 6 years, playing Wrigley Field, that is, because they were at the United Center in November, which was an incredible show. Wishing our guy Eddie Vedder the best.
Yeah.
Finally, so we did music, we did movies, now TV, and Kenzie's got a big announcement because if you've ever landed on TLC and say yes to the dress,
Have you heard of it?
Kenzie was on that show.
I was. I filmed it like 3 years ago. And no one ever called me back. And I'm like, okay. So I went through an extensive casting process. It was actually during COVID, so I had to take like 15 COVID tests, even day of. So this was crazy. They film when the store is closed.
Uh-huh.
And so me and my entourage go in. The end of the entire...
Who's in your entourage?
Is it Turtle and Vinny Chase
Yeah.
and
Oh,
E
yeah,
and Johnny
gang,
Drama?
baby. No, it was less dramatic. It was my sister-in-law, and at the time, my future sister-in-law, my mom, and at the time, my future mother-in-law. So moms
So
and sisters.
no Ari Gold in there.
No,
That's
I
too bad.
wish.
Yeah.
We got the price of the dress down then. But anyway. So every single person, but you have to think, including videographers, directors, everybody, all had to pass 2-day of COVID tests. And if anybody was negative, the entire production got shut down. Or, I mean, positive, the entire production got shut down. So I also had to be like, well, I hope the cameraman didn't go party last night. Like, that I don't know because we just got this whole trip to New York. So anyways, we film it. It was like a 13-hour film day.
And can you explain the premise of the show? Because in case someone's never seen it.
So there's an iconic old school dress store in New York City called Kleinfeld's. It's been around forever. It was a destination for brides even prior to the show because they have exclusive deals with tons of designers and stuff. So some dresses in the world you can actually only get at this store, okay? So it was a destination. They started filming women buying their wedding dresses from this store because it was such a destination, such a positive thing. The show's blown up. It's on season 22 right now of Say Yes to the Dress. It's now become a destination not only because of the history of the store, but because of the TV show. And so when I got engaged, I was like, you know what? I'll just apply for it. I had a 2-year engagement, so I'm like, I can wait to find out if I make it. And I actually was shocked when I did make it onto the show. And it was a really cool process, 13-hour film day. Spoiler alert, got my dress there.
Oh.
And I was nervous that the episode was going to air before my wedding because they don't guarantee anything to you. They're like, listen, it'll air when it airs. So I had a really long engagement, right? And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be on TV. Well, nope, I have a 5-month-old son and it's finally airing. So it didn't happen before.
So 3 years it never aired and now it aired.
Yes. So I was, and no one told me. I did not get contacted by production. I get a DM and someone's like, tears in my eyes after watching your Say Yes to the Dress episode.
Oh.
And I texted back, bitch, what? Excuse me? And she watched it on YouTube. There's like this 8-minute clip, which isn't what the full episode is, but it's just like whittled down to like just me. It's the first dress and the last dress. So I'm going to be posting that in a little bit. But it aired. This is so weird. You know all these streaming rights and how messed up everything is?
Yeah.
It aired in Australia, then it aired in Ireland, and I think it's still upcoming in America, but she watched it because of YouTube. I don't know.
Huh.
It is wild. It's a wild experience, but it's finally airing. It's finally, I think you can stream it, and then it's going to hit actual TV upcoming because they're in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Or you could fly to Australia and watch it there.
We should
if
do
you really
that.
want to see it.
How is that? That's wild that Australia and Ireland, everybody gets a different TLC.
They got it first. I don't know if it's testing purposes. Maybe they don't make it to America. Maybe just check well.
Let's hope Kenzie makes it to America.
Amen. But I will be posting the clip of it so you can get the gist. It's like this 8-minute thing with my family. It was really cool to watch.
That's
because,
awesome.
You know what? It was so weird because it was like 3 years ago, and it was before I was married. It was before I had a baby, and I'm like, that's like a different person.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Think about before you got married, before you had Harper, if you watched this whole video clip of a super special day, like right before you proposed or something, how weird that would be.
No one wants to see me at that point.
I know. Better man, I call you Pearl Jam. You know what I mean?
Running and gunning days.
Yeah. So it was just weird to be like, wow, did I have some free time or what? It's unbelievable.
So you're going to post the trailer or whatever, or the actual 8-minute thing?
Yeah, I'll post like the 8-minute clip in tandem. It's going to be up on our socials and up on my socials in a little bit. I'll get that up. But
check it out. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All
Or
right.
fly to Australia. Whatever floats your boat.
You know, you're not going to charge for your minutes streaming Australia, I don't think. All right, so there you go. TV time, movie time, music time, everything right where with Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. This point in the morning, a lot of traffic, a lot of bad problems this morning, the rain. So a little bit of comedy for you here from Brian Regan.
I served jury duty one time, and they would put us in the jury box and ask us questions, and if the lawyers didn't like your answer, they could kick you off and send you home. One of the questions was, have you ever been the victim of a crime? I realized very quickly everyone's trying to get out of jury duty, so everyone's trying to top each other so they get kicked off. It's like a game show. I'd never seen anything like this. Number one, have you ever been the victim of a crime? Yeah, I was mugged 3 times, twice at knife point and once at gunpoint, and I had my car stolen from my driveway, and somebody took my pet from my yard, and somebody smacked me, and that made me cry. Okay, all right. All right, number 2, have you ever been the victim of a crime? Yeah, I was mugged 5 times, 3 times at knife point, and 1 time at gunpoint, and another time at another point. And I get carjacked every day. And when I walk my pets, people go, give me those! People are always hitting me with bricks. I'm always sobbing and weeping uncontrollably. Whoa, hey! All right. Number 3, have you ever been the victim of a crime? Yeah, I mugged 7 people. I stole 9 cars. No, victim. Oh, victim. Oh, no.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And I hate to do this because, we pour one out for great Chicago iconic things now and then. And this is a premature pour one out, okay?
What?
Because it hurts me specifically if this happens. And so let's do it. We got to do it. So with an upcoming grocery store merger, if it goes through, and possibly Case, if he goes to this Mariano's, because we live in the same neighborhood, the Mariano's on Lawrence Avenue will close.
Wait, are you serious?
Now, check this out.
The one across from the Golden Nugget?
Yes.
Next to the Planet Fitness? Or it's the LA Fitness.
There's an LA Fitness in there, which you're not a member of. That's too expensive.
No, my broke ass can't afford LA Fitness.
Yeah, you're a Planet Fitness guy.
Yeah.
Wear the purple proudly.
This thin purple line that I represent.
Amen.
I was there with a king's robe, a purple robe. So here's what's going on. Kroger and Albertsons, and if you don't know what Albertsons is, that's a grocery store on the West Coast, because when I got exiled from Chicago radio, I went to Phoenix for a little bit, and Albertsons is a grocery store out there. So Kroger and Albertsons released a list of the stores they'd have to sell off if this merger is approved, which includes 35 Mariano's and Jewel Osco stores in Illinois. 35, I shouldn't say they'll close, but they have to be sold off, and if no one buys them, they'll close.
I guess I'm confused.
So the grocery store chains committed in September 23 to sell more than 400 stores and other assets for $1.9 billion to clear a path for a merger, because otherwise it's a monopoly.
Who's merging?
So it'd be Kroger, Albertsons, but Mariano's is related to Kroger. And Jewel
What
is...
a family.
Yeah, right?
Imagine that Thanksgiving table.
So since these grocery stores are all intertwined, that if they can't keep them all, but because of a monopoly, let's say. So they have to sell off some of the stores. And some of them might be in your area. I don't know. Because they're not just in the city of Chicago, but the Lawrence Avenue, My Mariano's would have to get sold off, which has a bar in there that's amazing.
Oh, they all have bars. They're the best place ever.
Yeah,
And they have great. It's one of the best sushi you can get in the city.
I mean, I'm
The
talking about one on Napier Boulevard, Naperville, Mariano's in Northbrook, let's see, Orland Park, Palatine. I'm trying to see if there's one in Elgin.
We need one in Elgin. We do not have one in Elgin. I will report to you on that, and it pisses me off.
Live on the scene.
I will do a live report from where there should be one. I'll tell you that. There's none in Elgin. There's none in South Elgin. There's none at the end of Elgin where I live, which should be called like North Elgin or something, because I'm like at the tip.
They do have
The earth is flat from where I live. And it makes me so mad that there's no Mariano's. I want to go so bad.
Is the closest one to you Crystal Lake?
Probably. It's far as hell. I don't get to go.
Well, that one will close too. It's on Northwest Highway.
I'll
That
just do
one
my
will close.
grocery shopping near NBC Tower after the show, I guess.
Yeah, now, again, someone would have to buy them, and hopefully, you know what it could be? It'd be great if Dominic's came back. What a weird world. We live in the Matrix.
No, Domino's isn't even close to Mariano's.
I'm saying that a lot of the Mariano's locations used to be Dominic's.
I know. They bought them all up. You know what that rivalry was, right? Do you know this story?
Between what, Mariano's and Dominic's?
Yeah.
I don't.
So
I
they
don't think.
both owned Dominic's.
Right.
And then this guy, one of the owners, was like, listen, maybe his name's Mariano. I don't know him.
Probably.
But he was like, listen, I want to make like a fresher grocery store with like food. And like he had this whole concept of what Mariano's is. Dominic's was like, no. And so we broke off partnership and started opening all the Mariano's. They started crushing it. And then they put Dominic's practically out of business. And that's why they bought all the locations.
See, my memory has
a rivalry.
My memory, which is going, has it that Dominic's all went away before the first Mariano's was built, but that must not be right.
No, they started picking them off.
Huh.
They came for him, headshot.
And they got him.
Bam. That's what Fresh Sushi does, baby.
I was a Jewel guy anyway. I didn't go to Dominic's very often. But I go to Mariano's now when I go to Jewel.
I know, because I literally get food from there. Like when I'm hungry, I go to Mariano's.
Oh, the prepared foods, everything in there.
It's the best.
Yeah, it's great.
Can I just say, I'm moving in with my girlfriend in 2 weeks.
Yes.
You're just throwing that in the conversation?
No, there's a point. You're such an ass.
Anyways, I need help with that. Okay.
Anyways, let's forget about food for a minute.
God. Dang
We
it,
get
Brian.
it. You have a girlfriend. People are surprised. You want to bring it up on the show.
The whole setup to what I was going to say.
Okay. All right. Wait. So you have a girlfriend?
That's a kid. He wants to brag. He's like, someone's sleeping with me. Let's pause the show.
What's the point of anything?
No, go ahead. Finish
Okay,
it.
no, please share.
And we're moving. I live in Buena Park right now, but we're moving north to Uptown. And part of my whole sell on moving to this neighborhood was that we can take her Ford Escape every Sunday when we grocery shop to that Mariano's on Lawrence.
Yep.
And now you're telling me we might not be able to do that.
You might not be able to do that.
That sucks.
You got to argue for the rent to be lower.
I
Like,
should.
we moved
You're
in
right.
here for the Mariano.
I wanted sushi on demand.
Well, we'll keep you posted. Hopefully they all stay open. It'd be wonderful. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Let's get to your takeaways right away here before we talk to Dougie Styles, who's in for Lauren this week. 312-591-8300. Memorable moments from the show today. Case, what do you got?
Marshall from Yorkville checked in. Takeaway, Kenzie just wanted someone to talk to, and her parents wouldn't get her a bird because they already had Kenzie at home.
That sucks.
You see the similarities,
They were
though.
so anti-bird. Not fair.
We can go through all the trauma
I
right
wanted
there.
a friend.
They should have just got you a bird. It would have been fine.
I know. They were already handling me. Whatever. Rob's takeaway, Brian hates ranch, and now he's stressed because he's going to have ranch-sponsored ads.
Very stressed about it. I love targeted ads because usually it's stuff you want. But we talked about ranch too much. I hate ranch. Now it's like going to be my whole
No,
day.
Hidden
today.
Valley's going to find you.
Oh, God. Chi-Town Chris, takeaway 773. The second you put an animal in your pants, you're no longer with PETA, says Kenzie. That's a fact. All right, Dougie, what do you got coming up on the show today?
We're just going to be hanging out, having a good time. I'm probably going to do a lot of breaks about Case's girlfriend. I mean, this is like breaking news. Did the world not know this?
Did you hear? He's got a girlfriend.
Case has a girlfriend.
He said it at the right time, too. You know what I mean? He just broke in there and let everybody know,
I
hey,
was making a larger point.
forget about Mariano's, the closures, all the people that are going to be losing their job working there. I have a girlfriend, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
But not Doug. Doug's still looking for one.
That was not the point. That was not the point of me coming in here this morning. But yes, I am single. Call me. Hit me up in the DM. Slide on in there. Go ahead. Feel free.
Got the next 4 or 5 hours with Dougie.
Case,
What's up?
does your girlfriend have a friend I can maybe hang out with? Or
Nope.
You don't want any of them. They're all broken.
Oh, Case, what's on the
Doug, I
podcast?
like you too much.
What's on the podcast, Case?
Well, we learned today that if you indeed put a hamster down your pants, you can no longer be in PETA. We have shocking news about Target. If you love going to Target, you're going to want to listen to the 6 a.m. podcast because we have some bad news there. And then also, we learned that Brian consistently ruins Megan's Bridgerton experience.
Yeah.
All that and more on the Brian and Kinsey podcast
Case
today.
on the podcast. Case has a girlfriend.
yeah!
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.